Komal and Drishya's helped to make that happen. And I just want to say that while we do that, it's so precious to have this opportunity to be here with you for this conversation. It's meaningful at many levels. We're getting close to our 40th leadership conversation. We're getting there, and Anna's been at the helm of making it happen from the very genesis, the idea on, and that's one reason this is so special. And the other reason is that in this period of a year and a half, 2 years, we've also had the good fortune of watching both of you and Widu, and with that, we extend an invitation for everybody, so that we do indeed, and how it's grown. This beautiful application that you've developed, it's gone through so many important phases. It's, this important process of giving birth to something so precious as we not just celebrate the launch of Widu, and all the hard work, the vision, and the action that all of you have taken, but as you bring together the universe to take action together to protect our planet. And I just want to say that makes it even more meaningful. So I just want to start by conveying my gratitude for this time together as we celebrate you. We celebrate these conversations. I want to thank Komal and Drishya and Philo, who's not on this call, also for helping to put this conversation together. And with that, I'll just start by welcoming, Anna, Danny, the entire POP family, and everyone who is joining us here to this important POP climate leadership conversation, which we mark as a tribute to our chief mentor. And this project aims to strengthen youth leadership and explore tactics that empower the youth to take action and tackle the most pressing environmental issues that we face globally. Today, I think as we speak, there's literally no part of the globe that is not already living through the impacts of climate change. And so that only puts this at an even more important, timely position where we come together to have this conversation. And in conducting these conversations on leadership strategies, recommendations, reflections, and examples, each focused on global leadership and a different pressing environmental issue. The initiative itself is designed and implemented as a tribute to our chief mentor, late Dr. R.K. Pachauri. Today, we have the good fortune and the pleasure of speaking with the founders of Widu, and particularly we celebrate Anna Hanhausen, Danny Gomez, especially about leadership and the application of technology in taking action, climate action, and making an impact in individual lives as well as collectively. We also celebrate you as young women leaders who paved the way and inspire so many others to launch on and venture, to take initiative, formulate an enterprise, and lead the way to a better, healthier, sustainable, safe planet for everyone, for generations now and many more to come. So I just want to say a very warm welcome once again. What an honor. And we celebrate you today and always. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Komal, who'll walk us through your beautiful, impressive, admirable bios and get us started. So thank you so much. And a warm welcome once again.
Thank you, Dr. Ash. A very warm welcome to Anna and Danny and everyone in the family. So I will now introduce our guest speakers. Daniela Gomez is a biologist from Universidad de las Americas, Puebla. She has focused her work on evaluating and increasing the effectiveness on environmental education within her institution. Anna Henhausen is a chemical engineer from Universidad Iberoamericana, Mexico. She has worked with several national and international NGOs during the last years, including Plastic Oceans and the POP movement. Her work is focused on increasing youth climate action and ocean protection. Daniela and Anna founded Widu, an app to help people get involved in the solutions to climate and water crisis. Through the app, people can measure their carbon and water footprint, and they can find the most effective way to reduce them through personal and community actions. WeDo aims to bring together people, institutions, governments, and companies to implement solutions to reduce emissions and save water. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will have 5 areas of our conversations from young leaders, the female leaders we have in front of us from the POP family. And our senior mentor, Dr. Ash Pachauri, will now ask the first question. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Dr.
I mean,
Ash.
thank you. I'm so excited that we're going to be talking about Widu today, and it's once again a very special day indeed for us to be able to have this time together and literally kick off this this innovative transformational tool. So I'm going to start first by saying once again thank you for this beautiful opportunity, and then I'd love to ask Anna and Danny to talk a little bit about what the journey has been like from your perspective, as you've thought through and then built up as you've traversed this important journey to actually kicking off this beautiful application. And we encourage everybody, particularly in Mexico right now, to please download Widu, start using it. And Anna and Danny will talk to us more about how it came about, and also where they position leadership within the realm of making this happen. So what does leadership mean, and particularly from your perspective, with respect to launching Widu? Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much. First of all, to you, Dr. Raj, and to all the family for having us here today. I'm very excited to have the honor of speaking here. As you mentioned in the beginning, we've had almost 40 conversations now, so it's really exciting to be a part of one. And well, I will, if it's okay with everyone, I'll answer and then I'll hand it over to Dani so that she can answer as well, because I'm sure she'll add some really interesting thoughts to this. But I think Dani can agree with me that we've definitely learned a lot in these past 2 years. I think it's definitely the 2 years where we've grown the most. And it's been challenging in a way where we've had to acquire many skills that we never thought we would have to, right? So for example, building a team, or thinking in the long term, thinking of who to include, thinking of your vision first, right? And really keeping all of these different goals and metrics in mind has been challenging, but at the same time very, very interesting. So I think what this has mainly taught me is that leadership means trusting your team and allowing your team to do what they do best, and trusting that they also have in mind what's best for the vision of your project, right? It's not getting involved in every single corner of what's being done, but really allowing your team to be as much a part of the project as you are. And I think that vision has really helped us work quicker and more effectively. I don't know if you'd like to add.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, also, thank you so much to the POP family and Dr. Ash for having us. And I think what Anna is saying is so true. I cannot count the entire times where Anna and I have felt maybe alone while we started this project. And right now, as we've been gathering more people and we've been growing our team, it's hard and it's challenging to let go of those responsibilities that you used to do, right? But I think what I would also add is that for me, leadership means being able to have transparent conversations as well with your people, and just say, okay, so I think right now we are facing, or I am facing this and this challenge. And then you start to create an environment where people can open up, right? And realize that they're part than just the project. So it's not something they want to be in that culture, that environment. And you are the one that creates and that makes that happen. So it's been really cool and interesting.
That is so insightful. I mean, it's interesting to hear how, you go in with an idea and then you realize the process entails so many other elements. And then, you start to gear up so many dimensions of your existence you didn't even know about, right? But these are such important qualities and values. And thank you for sharing, because I do think they truly exemplify leadership, and it's such a beautiful opportunity to give birth to that culture. And you once again, you exemplify it. So I really appreciate you sharing that, and I'd love to hear a little more about how this idea was germinated, from the point of view of what this journey's been like, and how you've sort of traversed it from the point of view of actually coming up to where we're at right now. I remember the earliest conversations with you and had insights at various points. I'd love to hear more.
Of course. So if you want, I can take the lead on this one, and you can complement. So the idea started because we were both really frustrated, I think, in two different paths. So for me, it was because I was doing a survey in my university, and I realized that the environmental education was just kind of like a filler course for most of the different careers, right? And the worst part is that everybody knew what was going on, but nobody was doing anything about it. So I wanted to create something to help kind of bridge that gap. And for Anna, everybody from their talks and everything, it was the question that they always had is, well, what can I do? And it was more of, okay, so let's gather something, let's create something that gathers all of the information, because we're not about to create a new project. And I love grassroots organizations, I do, and that they solve different problems locally. But for most people, they don't even know what grassroots organizations, what they can do locally, right? So we wanted to be kind of this concentrator or vinculator of ideas, of projects, and in general, a community of people just doing. And we couldn't just take the slogan from Nike, but we wanted to do something where we all did. And our vision right now has changed so much with the team that has been coming along, and it's been added, it has grown so much. So I don't know if you want to take that part and explain how it has grown.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you, Dani. I think that really exemplifies the journey that we've been through. And I think what we always say is that we decided to create the tool that we wish we had when we started becoming environmental activists, right? When we started trying to learn how we could get involved, and we realized this process took longer than it should, if only the information was together in one same place, right? And this is the main idea of how we started Widu. But as Dani said, we've gotten to learn so much from the rest of our team, and it's really expanded our vision, because right now the app is focused on actions to tackle climate change and to tackle the water crisis. But we realized that this type of community that we could create and this type of technology could really help us take it a step further. So now our vision is really, it includes our previous vision, but it goes even further in saying that we want this tool to be something that really reduces existential risk in the long run. It's not only focused on environmental risk, but also social risk and different issues that can happen, and how we can all contribute to reduce this risk and ensure humanity, the ecosystems, and the species survive for as long as possible.
Thank you. I want to say that this is such an important thing because it looks like, and I'd love for you, like in one sentence, to say that Widu is, and this sort of define it for us, just for everybody else who's listening to know more. But I want to say it sounds just absolutely incredible because dealing with this issue holistically is so critical. The only real way we can make a difference is if we do holistically as well. And it's really great that it's such an embracing vision. And sure, it's grown and transformed, and all of those things have happened. But I also want to quickly say that I had the good fortune of knowing you when you were on the other side at university, and I could tell. And that it doesn't surprise me in the least because I could tell you had the fire in your belly, and you wanted to make the difference, and you were out there when everybody gone. You were out there doing this. So I just want to say that it's just beautiful because it's a magnification of who you are, both of you, and I really hope, and I know that you're gonna also, you might not realize it, but outside of your own circle of the team, you also are inspiring so many people on the outside. So your inspiration is internal and external, and it goes way beyond the inner circle. So I just want to say that thank you for sharing that. Love for you to just give us in a sentence what Widu is and stands for, and then I'll hand over from there. Thank you.
Sure. So thank you so much, Ash, for your kind words. They really mean a lot. And these types of conversations are really what keeps us motivated. And just for everyone who's listening and who we haven't talked to about Widu too yet, Widu is an app where people can measure their carbon and water footprint, and they can find actions at a personal and a community level in order to reduce their impact. And according to the effectiveness of these actions, we give them points that they can exchange for rewards.
That is wonderful. Thank you. So we hope that everybody's going to sign up to Widu, start getting those points. The important thing is that there are points that you'll get and the points you'll be making. So I just want to say thank you so much once again. And I'm going to hand over to Hermano Ivan, who has some wants to jump into the next level of conversation here about the amazing work you do. Thank you.
Hermano. Thank you so much, Hermano. And first of all, I also wanted to say that being able to witness how you have been growing with your project alongside with it, and also learning about your journey, this experience of yours, it has also been, besides inspiring and motivating, it also has helped, I think, many people, starting by many of us, to learn how to focus our efforts and grow as a community. So thank you so much for also sharing this journey with us. So the question is, how do you think the business industries are becoming more environmentally committed and transparent?
Sure. Danny, would you like to start? You can go ahead. Okay. So I think this is such a good question because I feel like it's something that not only startups want, but also the general public, right? There's so much information that can be shared in a transparent manner, and being transparent can really help us make tools more effective. They can make us help them grow quicker. So I think this is a crucial point to talk about. I think it's becoming more and more common to for smaller companies, especially, to really showcase what they're doing, how their processes are made, what their goals are, and they're open to criticism, which I think is a really important point, right? It's not only like, oh, hey, this is what we're doing and we're not willing to change, but it's really opening up to ask the general public, the people you want to get to your community, for help and for insight, so that you can really create the best product for them. So I think Smaller companies are the ones who are leading this right now, and I hope bigger companies will follow, because it will not only allow us to help the company stay aligned to ethical values, but it will also help us stay like achieve this sustainable development goals through transparency.
There's something I would like to add to that. So what we've seen in our experience working with big companies is that it's something that a few of them are very interested in start doing. They are not sure how to start or how to change their processes, how to evaluate them and everything. And it's just, we need proper guidance to focus these big corporate efforts, right? So it's also that kind of support that small companies are giving, because they have a B2B business and their business model is just focused on helping big corporation be more sustainable and everything. Is so important, because they're also taking the hand of all of these huge companies and creating lasting change, because that's where we can just jump from this point to that point because of all the reduction that they could do, right? So for us, we are kind of a media that communicates in a transparent and credible way what they're doing. And we have been really diligent on, okay, so what information do you have? How do you back up that information, right? So that we can actually communicate what is happening, but in a very, very transparent way.
Thank you so much. And it is so important to be aligned with this like impact of the industries and how they are behaving, not only, let's say, environmentally, but also socially. And it is a blessing that there are startups and these companies that are also helping to make this transformation. So thank you for your work. And I would like to give the floor to Kamal to make the next question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ivan. It's great. It's so great to see you, Anna and Denny, being here and sharing your views and the inspiration you got regarding Widu. So, my question to you regarding that is, what motivated you to bring this idea from Widu to we all do? Why and how important it is, do you think, to measure our actions on a daily basis to live a sustainable life?
Thank you for your question, Kamal. I think it's a very good question. So for us, when we started, we were already doing some stuff to lead a more sustainable lifestyle, or we were trying to, right? So our idea is that we don't need to be 100% sustainable, but we need everybody to be like 20% sustainable. But we need everybody doing something. And honestly, technology gave us that reach to be able to kind of create something and just go big and go wide, you know, and whoever feels and shares the same values and the same idea and the same interest, then they would join and just start creating all of this community. So Anna and I know that maybe our impact as one person is nothing compared to the impact of a company. And that kind of impotence and just frustration stops and limits so many people from taking action. So the way we did around that is that we measured the actions that people take in a daily basis, and knowing that impact, knowing what your little effort amounts to, and seeing that not only in numbers, but also with the whole Widu community, makes you feel part of something bigger, makes you feel part of a movement that is really changing the situation. So I don't know, Anna, if you would like to comment on that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it really motivated us to put emphasis on how working together can really make a bigger difference, not only because we're adding up the different things that each person is doing, but also because in this way we can influence companies, we can influence governments, and this can in turn create like this rotating snowball that grows and grows. And focusing a bit more on what you said towards the end of your question, Komal, about the importance of measuring in our day-to-day lives, we realized that many people weren't aware of the big impact they could have if they stuck to a habit or a couple of habits, right? Because it's hard. For example, you commit yourself like, okay, you know what? On Mondays, I'm not gonna eat meat for 1 year. But then you see that everything keeps happening around you the same way, and you're like, doing this big effort, but how much is it actually accounting to? And not knowing how much it really does account for was a big factor for this demotivation, right? Many people left behind these habits because they thought they weren't adding up to anything. But being able to measure it and check it day to day, I think it's a factor of motivation and really helping people understand how everything adds up.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Dani. It's so inspiring. And yes, we all need to take action. It's important that not only one person can make the change. We all need to come together so that what we are looking for, we will be able to sustain. I will now hand over to Ale, who will ask the next question. Ale?
Hello, hi. Thank you, Kamal. Well, I want to ask, how do you think technology can help ensure the carbon footprint and combat the climate change issue?
Thank you so much, Ale. I think technology plays such an important role in measuring the carbon footprint and combating the climate change issue in many different aspects. On one side, because it creates the different innovations needed to reduce emissions. So for example, let's talk about renewable energy, carbon capture, and these different technologies that are very like punctual, right? But on the other side, I think also technology plays a big role in connecting people towards a big goal, right? It's not only these big innovations that are making the change, but also people coming together. If we think about the whole social movement that's going around the youth promoting climate action, I do believe it wouldn't be able to have as much outreach if it wasn't because of social media or of different technological platforms that allow people to come together. So I think it really helps in many different aspects, and it allows, going back to Ivan's question, it allows us to be more transparent and to improve this technology so that the improvement rate keeps growing. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, so we also cannot be just oblivion of carbon footprint of technology, right? I mean, it's also a huge part that is incrementing on a daily basis. And I think, as Anna was saying, we are right now at a point where we're just innovating on so many different levels. And there are people focusing on innovating how to have more effective use of energy, or how to create cleaner energy so that the electronics and just technology can function properly and reduce its carbon footprint, right? So, but I mean, if we all look at things, it has the benefit on this issue, for me, outweighs the cost, because the cost will start to reduce, and it has been reducing in these years and in the upcoming years.
Yeah. No, I think that, thank you for your answer. I think the highlight of the state is its ability to overcome frontiers and form this innovation, as you say, and in this case with technology. I really just want to say that your work is incredible, and I am so excited what's coming on.
Thank you so much, Ali, for your question and for your kind words.
That's beautiful. I do agree with you. And, as we reach scale, costs will come down. And of course, you're right, we do have a carbon footprint associated with, technology as well. But we hope that the innovations and the benefits that they offer outweigh any costs and definitely relative costs as we think about other carbon emitting technologies. So I just want to say, Ale, thank you for the beautiful question, and Anna, Danny, for the important reflections that you've shared. And with that, let me ask Drisha to come in, please, with the important question you have and the insights Anna and Danny will share with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ash. Hi, Anna, and hi, Danny. It's great to have you both over here. You are an inspiration to the young leaders as well as the women and a lot more people. But the question I have for you is, as a youth leader, what common challenges do you think a young person faces in advocating and also motivating others to take climate action?
Thank you for your question, Drisha. I think that's such a good question, because we have been faced with some challenges ourselves trying to, get to. So when we try talking to investors, or when we try talking to other generations, it's really hard for us to kind of express the urgency of taking action. And for most of the time, so when we talk about it, they consider us like romantics or idealists, and we're like, no, this is gonna reduce costs from a year now, right, from here on. And everybody is just, so but what will it bring me? What is the cost for me to do this? How much revenue will I make? And kind of change that image and that vision is so hard. And I think a lot of climate youth advocates around the world struggle with this exact same thing, where people don't really understand the urgency, and they don't see kind of the benefit of moving from a profit first company to an impact first company, or kind of approach. So my advice to all of them is don't give up. Honestly, it's just a conversation, and when you strike a chord of something that they're interested in, for example, the kind of life their grandchildren or their children are gonna have, or their favorite vacation spot, or their favorite drink, how it will not be here that much. They kind of have this dawn right on them, and it's very funny because it's like, oh wow, it really, and it's like, yeah. And then you can mention a few documentaries to back it up, but that's kind of my advice if you're faced with this situation.
Yes, for sure. I think what Danny said is such an important point, and definitely something that we faced in many different aspects. And I think, as Danny said, since we're young, sometimes they say like, oh, they're so idealistic, and they, they don't realize that it's an urgent manner that will really reduce risks within their companies, within their institutions. It will really impact them as well. But sometimes it feels like people won't open their eyes until it affects them directly. And I feel like that is very sad, because it's already affecting so many million people that it's unempathical from them to ignore what's happening around the world and just feel like, oh, if in this circle I'm not being affected yet, then it's not a problem, right? So I think that's something that we've seen around different areas, whether it's talking to governments, talking to investors, talking to companies, and also emphasizing again on youth, like youth activism in Mexico specifically, it really feels, we were actually talking about this yesterday, right? It really feels like swimming against the current, like we're salmons, because you see in many other countries progress and leaders actually wanting to understand what's happening, wanting to promote renewables, things like this. And sometimes in Mexico, it does feel like we're going in reverse. And even though through different activism tactics and activities, we try to improve this, it's hard, but the good thing is that there's a big group of activists working together and challenges that we faced.
Thank you, Anna and Danny. This is, I think, very important that you shared about what difficulties or challenges you are facing when you meet the investors. Because one thing that young people are also worried about, that even if they want to take actions and they try to create their own projects, apply for funding, what are the real core challenges that they are going to face? Because a lot of them want to pursue it in future as a career option as well, and that is something that we need to imbibe in our major goals, or major activities that we want to do in future. So I think your experience and your experience, as well as your wisdom that you have now with all your experience, is very, very important to inspire others. Thank you so much. I will hand it over to Komal now.
Thank you so much, Trisha. Do we have more time to take one more question, or
Yes.
yeah? So if anyone wants to ask any question, or we have Sam here. If Sam, do you want to ask any question? Then please go ahead. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Maybe I can go ahead and ask another question.
Yes.
So, my question to you, Anna and Denny, is what has your journey been like ever since you decided that your actions are accountable to the planet?
Thank you, Kamal. I feel like it's crazy to think about it, because in the day-to-day life, it doesn't feel like it's changed so much. But when you look back, maybe to March 2020, when we were in Durango, you really realized how much how much you've changed and how much you've grown, right? So I think what has really changed within me has been not being motivated by slow progress, understanding that sometimes we don't see the effects of our work immediately, and it takes months or even years to see them create like fruit, to call it that way. So I think really staying motivated, even though immediate progress isn't seen, has been something that's been difficult, but has really changed, right? And I think also seeing how other people are motivated by the actions you take, and by staying true to these actions you commit to. So for example, maybe in the beginning, when I started going everywhere with my reusable water bottle and my reusable silverware and everything, everyone was like, why would you do that? Like, that's so uncomfortable to carry around, or like, oh, it's so embarrassing that you're asking the person who's serving the food to put it in your own reusable container. But now, little by little, you see like these patches of people around that are following these same actions, and that's where really motivation comes from, right? Like really seeing like, oh, hey, I guess I'm not that crazy after all, and everyone decided to join in on the different actions as well. I think that's mainly where we.
Yeah, no, I think that's so true. So for me, it's been a bit different. I've also gotten to know so many different actions that reduce so much more, right, than what maybe I was probably doing in the first place. So for me, it has been a bit kind of challenging to keep doing what I was doing in the first place and be like, okay, so these small changes, they can only add more, right? So they can only add more reduction. It's not like I can change. I can start doing these more effective changes. And I've been trying to motivate it within my family and within all of that. And we have been able to implement some. But in an interior decision, I keep doing what I was doing before, and I've started trying to do a bit more. I'm terrible at habits. They take a lot from me, but I'm there and I'm trying. And as Anna was saying, it's really amazing to see how contagious it is. So, and people don't even know it, but they start being a little bit more conscious the next time that they make a decision when they buy, or the next time that they order something at a restaurant, right? So I don't know, it's been great. I cannot say that it's not challenging, it is, but it's definitely something that just adds up so much effort and so much impact.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, you are right. Be consciousness and keep moving forward is the key. Like we should not step back from our decisions that we take. So yeah, we all should just keep ourselves motivated. So what we have decided and just move forward. Thank you so much. Now I would like to hand over to Dr. Ash for the concluding comments. Dr. Ash.
It's hard to conclude such a conversation. I really believe that this is like Danny, you have, and Anna, you have talked to us about, every drop fills the ocean, and you're absolutely right. That leadership by example is so key, and one can relate to examples in one's own life as you probably see too. There was a time you walk into a restaurant and the first thing they do is like put a glass of water, straw and all in front of you. And now, we don't see that. And I know I know sadly we still see plastic straws in grocery stores and whatnots, but we're also seeing reusable straws. We're also seeing a lot of reusable ware, so, tableware and so on. And people carrying bottles, and it does, initially you may be the only one doing it, and then very soon one more will join you, and then one more will join you. And I think that perseverance is so key. And I want to thank Komal for asking that question, because I think it brought up probably one of the very fundamental elements of bringing us up to this moment as we celebrate Widu and we celebrate you as tremendous leaders and leaders by example. So I just want to ask you at this stage, just as we sort of conclude this conversation, but launch on the most important phase of our lives together, as Widu gets out there and people start to use it. What would you ask people to do now as a next step? Since we know the tool is out there, you've talked to us about so many important things that it offers. I'd love to hear from both of you about what we can put out as messaging to the world at large as they're listening to us, in terms of being able to use it. What do they need to do? And your guidance in this regard will be key for us to get this out in the hands of everybody.
Yeah, and thank you. No, on the contrary, thank you, Dr. Ash, for the invitation, and thank you all for all the amazing questions that you all asked. It's really been motivating to be here with you, and I love how this makes us reflect on where we came from and where we are now, right? And if I could have just like one thing to ask everyone to do, I would make it two things. I'm sorry. The first one would be to know their impact first, because I can't tell someone, oh, you know what, stop eating this type of food, if I don't know if maybe their main source of emissions come from how they transport, right? So it really, it depends so much on the lifestyle of the person, that my first suggestion would be get to know your impact. And my second suggestion would be become an activist. Don't be afraid to use your voice, to go even further, to speak out against anything that you see around you that doesn't make sense to you and that you think will create a problem either right now or in the future. And I feel like sometimes we're scared, or we think that no one's going to listen to us, but eventually we'll get enough people together so that we can.
And if I can add to that just very fast, if everyone here can follow us on our social media, which is widu.app, because we're the 15th of August, we're going to start just amplifying and giving voice to the launch and everything. So that would be great. If you have any friends in Mexico, if you're from Mexico, just spread the word, and let's get as many people involved as we can, for sure. And we're very easy to reach also. So I know we're just starting. So if you have any comments on the application, if anything comes up like that, please feel free to connect with us. And yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity and the kind words that were being shared here. This really keeps us going and just makes us realize how much part of a community we already are, right? I know we're starting a new one in a way, but it wouldn't go anywhere without all the support and the people from the Pop family. So thank you so much.
That is beautiful. We're very, very proud to be family, and it's equally, if not more, gratifying for us to see us at this moment now, this juncture in the journey, as we're literally, hours before we kick off. So this is so gratifying, really, and I want to convey my thanks to you and the entire family. And congratulations once again. I'm going to encourage everybody who's listening, who'll have a chance to listen in when they do, if they're not right now, to please, jump on social media, connect with Widu, please, WIDU, connect with Danny, Anna, and start making that difference, not just in your life, but in the lives of everybody, because as we've talked about right here, every drop fills the ocean, and the collective matters. So I just want to say, like we've seen through this beautiful example, as Anna and Danny have exemplified, persevere. And as we persevere and we persevere together, we're definitely going to get there. And Widu is an important tool, media platform for us to tide over, to bridge us over to the other side, to a safe and sustainable future for all of us. And yes, it's important for us to reflect on what that impact is that we make, because all of us do. And I just want to say that, where we've really made a difference historically has always been when we've stopped to understand what our role in this is, and then carry people with us forward with that perseverance, with that vision. And Widu is that key to helping make it happen. So I'm going to ask all of you to join the Widu family, join the community. The app will be available come August 15. And to begin with, in its first generation, will be available to everybody in Mexico. So I'm going to ask the entire family in Mexico, please start using the app, and let's join hands, come together. And we want to thank Widu for opening this space for us to become that family together and making a difference. And with that, our heartiest congratulations once again to Danny, Anna, the entire family for being here today, for supporting this important conversation. And I want to say once again that what you exemplify is magnified in the universe outside and above. all. And so I just want to say, for all beautiful young leaders, all budding leaders out there, you can see that Anna and Danny have done it. You can too, and it will make a difference, as we do. Thank you. And
Thank you so much.
thank
A
you.
big hug to everyone.
And a big hug to all of you. And if you would to agree, for those who might be able to switch their cameras on, if I could request you to let us take capture this very precious moment as we take it, let it live now and forever. We'd love to get a picture. Thank you. I'm going to share this with you. Thank you. And a link to the stream for this conversation. We'll have that with you too, so that we can get word out about Widu as far and wide as we can. Thank you, and stay blessed, and a big hug, and to many more amazing things to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Lovely to see you guys. Have a great